part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org. Help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
It was the Roman poet Virgil who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. Thank you so much, and welcome to another live edition of Titillating Sports. I'm your humble host, Rick Tittle. Nice to have you with us wherever you are listening in this great land of ours, this land of Bulgaria, and on the USA as well. We is here for you, and you can talk about sports with us. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, about chess, checkers, rugby, cricket. And let's do it at the toll-free line, 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-787-529. We'll start off with some open lines, and then Sarah Janssen will come in and talk about the World Almanac and Book of Facts, a huge paperback tome. When I was a kid, that was something we would always like, was almanacs, and we would always quiz each other on flags of the world. And took great pride, me and my brothers, in knowing every flag. No one cares now, but the almanac rules. Our buddy rock and roll historian Scott Shea will be back. We'll take a little O-Town look. Sam Cooke will be the subject in about a half hour. Second hour, the very funny comedian and actor Joel Kim Booster. He will be at Sketchfest here in a couple weeks. And then here is San Francisco, California. Pro Wagering J.D. Sharp scheduled to appear in about 2 hours. And open lines, as I said, TuneIn app, iHeartRadio app, Stitcher app, Twitch.tv, and YouTube as well as we stream along. The Twitch is stage left. The YouTube is a little slice of him. No, it's a little slice of my face. He sliced his face, officer, knock on wood. CRN Digital Plus 2, the cable radio network channel 2, your cable provider. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle is the Facebook fan page, and the Twitter is at Rick Tittle, so come on back.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both, airline and hotel, with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816. Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fire carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
All right. Lines are open. Let's get it going. 1-800-878-PLAY. Dominic Commando's on the other side of the glass. Like a cobra strike on that phone and put you on the air. 1-800-878-PLAY. I saw the full payouts for the World Cup for federations. In other words, what does each team get? And this is something that is up to each individual country. In other words, when you get the prize money for where you finish in the World Cup coming up this summer. And I'll never say, like, do you mean the skiing World Cup or the FIFA? I'm not going to say FIFA World Cup. That'd be like saying NCAA March Madness. You mean the March Madness at my mattress store? Because they kind of say the same thing. No, they don't. That's why they went ahead and copyrighted the term Super Bowl, and you'll see like Best Buy or Kmart, whatever, Circuit City. I guess it's Best Buy. They go, make sure to get the TV for the big game, Cal Stanford. But you get prize money, and then they can take the prize money and they can give it to the players, or they can give it to the federation, whatever. And so if you win the World Cup, your team gets $50 million. The 1982 World Cup, which was the first World Cup where I watched every game that summer, the winner got $2.2 million. And in 1982, that was a lot of money, as it is now. But $50 million to the winner. The runner-up gets $33 million. The consolation game, which I like, that, and just mark my words, the consolation game, unless your team wins it all, is the funnest game of the tournament. That's where the semifinal losers play a game the day before the final to see who gets the bronze medal. And they do give out medals. And then fourth place gets nothing. Well, third place gets $29 million. Fourth place gets $27 million. But the reason that game is so good, it's the only game the entire World Cup that has no pressure. And every consolation game, one team is really trying to win, and one team is so pissed that they to the final, they're playing all their backups, and they get thrashed. I'm telling you, it's great. And I remember when the World Cup was here in 1994, C.W. Nevias, who's a really nice guy, he used to be a sports columnist. Now he's probably retired, but they transferred him to, like, the Tiger's birthday at the zoo. And disparage him. He's a really good writer and a nice guy. But I remember he wrote an article in the Sporting Green of the Chronicle, and he said, give the consolation game, the old college try. I can't believe the World Cup has a game where the two losers play each other. That's what he said. And he knows absolutely nothing about soccer. You know, and that's the thing that happened last time is all these people said, I don't care, it's a stupid sport, I hate it. And I'm like, good, go ahead and hate it. We'll have our fun over here. We don't need you. Great. You know, if you hate it, you hate it. You know what? I was in Paris during the Rugby World Cup. Do you think I went to a game? No, I just wasn't interested. By the way, this was in 91, and they were showing the Eagles. That was the American team. And one of our guys was crying, and I mean crying. And I was like, wow, we really suck. Our guys are crying. I probably shouldn't laugh. All right, as I go like 15 tangents here. 5th to 8th place, all get the same, 19 million. 9th to 16th place, all get 15 million. Those are teams that advance to the knockout rounds. 37th to 32nd get 11 million, and then 33rd to 48. This is why we have so many stinky games. It'll be the World Cup. We'll be fired up, but there are a lot of bad games. And San Francisco / Santa Clara got basically all bad games. Just saying, really bad. But 33rd to 40th get 9 million. So now you think, okay, big deal. But let's say you're the Cape Verde or Haitian Soccer Federation. You've already won $9 million. And by the way, Cape Verde and Haiti will not finish higher than 33rd out of 48 teams. I'm not saying they can't win a game. Of course, anybody's capable on any given Wednesday afternoon, World Cup, to win a game. But think about what that does for your federation. That probably keeps you going. I have seen time and time again in Europe, you'll sell a player just to build a new stand, or as we would say, quarter of a stadium. You know, that's the thing you dream of. You have this youth academy. You're holding it together with Scotch tape, or as they say in England, cello tape, and you finally get a good player. What do? You sell them, and then now your team can be solvent for the next 10 years. But that's not too bad. $9 million for, I mean, think about the expenses, and I can guarantee you that Cape Verde and Haiti don't have huge sponsorships bankrolling them. Now, they can glom on to some of the World Cup ones. I mean, the World Cup has had IBM and Coca-Cola and MasterCard. Those are all huge. I'm sure they'll get a piece of it one way or the other. But I also remember in 94 when I worked at the media center at Stanford, which was right next to the stadium. I didn't work game days. I had tickets for those. But the Cameroon Soccer Federation had a beef with their FA, and they wanted what they were going to get paid. And I've told the story many times, but the night before the game, the FA didn't give them any uniforms, and they were going to play Brazil in the opening game at Stanford. And, last World Cup, we got Brazil. This time we have Paraguay and Iraq. The games are all so bad. When you're excited about Australia, that's when you know the games are really bad. So I think I want to say that ups my chances of getting a press credential, but I'm not going to go ahead and say that. That might have absolutely nothing to do with it. I just don't see the BBC outside of a stringer going to that game. Now, they're all going to be on the world feed. That's the thing. You know, the United States is the only country in the world that sends their own TV crews to the Olympics, by the way. Everything else is just the world feed. And this is why when the American finishes 14th in the slalom, you see his entire run. And, oh, by the way, this Austrian guy won. Well, the rest of the world sees the winners. The Americans, we only care about the Americans, right? It's like that old Weekend Update Jane joke. A bus went over a cliff, 80 people died, but don't worry, no Americans on board. Kind of like a twisted way of looking at it. So, the champion, 50 mil. If you're Lionel Messi, it doesn't really move you one way or another. But for, as I mentioned, when I saw $9 million guaranteed to last place, Cape Verde, Haiti, throw some other minnows in there, that is an absolute windfall of cash, and that can keep your federation going, you know. And it's not like one of those, remember in the 80s, call 1-800 for $5, this family can eat for a month, and then Rodney Dangerfield said, yo, show my wife how to stretch a dollar like that. $9 million for last place. You think getting a World Cup doesn't mean nothing? It means a lot more than money, I'll tell you that. And I'm going to do the rest of the show in this voice. Actually, I can't because I have a guest coming up. We're going to talk the World Almanac next on Sports Byline.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline, 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
Hey, I'm a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer, and we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case, and they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
Thank you and welcome back. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show Executive Editor Sarah Janssen. She's here to talk about the new version of the World Almanac and Book of Facts 2026, #1 New York Times bestseller from World Almanac Books. Sarah, welcome to the show. First of all, S-E-N, Danish, American?
Mostly German. Actually, we're not exactly sure where the unusual spelling came from, but good eye for sure.
Yes. Well, I'm German and Danish, so you're probably near like Jutland or maybe Schleswig-Holstein, yeah? Genau.
I guess we'll find out.
Okay. The thing I love about this book is I'm a kid growing up in the 70s. We love the almanac, and I would think, well, you know, the world now, kids with their phones, Google, they don't need this thing. But it still exists. It's still thriving. Why do you think people still love having these great books?
You know, I think that the World Almanac answers a couple of different needs for people that you just can't get through an algorithm or a keyword search, and that, you know, primarily is being able to pick up a book like the World Almanac, flip to a random page, and find information that you wouldn't have thought to look for, that maybe wouldn't have been served to you due to your past, you know, browsing history, scrolling history. We've got, you know, information on so many different topics in the World Almanac, from sports to pop culture to history to science. You can pick up the World Almanac and go to a random page and really have an interesting and serendipitous learning experience that you would not have maybe thought to pursue otherwise.
I could not agree with you more. And just as I was thumbing through, I turned to, this is almost 1,000 pages, kids, I turned to page 427, and it was U.S. History Chronology of Events. And this is in like 2-point Helvetica. It's teeny-weeny print. This whole page could be a book. But here I am, the history buff, and I saw that in 1526, San Miguel de Guadalupe was the first European settlement in South Carolina and then was abandoned. I had always heard, you know, Roanoke and then Jamestown. I never even heard of this. And so this whole page is going to take me an hour to read. So this really, if you put it in like normal font, this would be like 5 volumes, wouldn't it?
It is, yes. We do have to take some liberties with the type size in order to fit all of the information that we want to in this, you know, 1,000-page book. We've got a limited amount of space, and we're trying to cram it with as much information as we possibly can. And that does come a little bit at a sacrifice of the point size. But, you know, if it's a problem for you, you can always get our hardcover edition, which is a little bit larger, a little bit sturdier, a little bit easier on the eyes.
Very good. I was also thumbing through, and I saw U.S. veteran payouts 1940. Amazing information. What was something that, as the editor, and by the way, I admire you, no one has had to edit more pages about more topics. That's just a fact. So someone comes to you and says, hey, I have a list of, you know, how long hamsters can live, and you're like, look, enough already, okay? So how do you decide?
You know, thankfully, it's not just on me. The World Almanac is edited by a team of about 15 people every year, and that includes, you know, subject-specific experts. It includes fact-checkers, researchers, and these are the folks who are doing the hard work of vetting that information, vetting that hamster list. Is this actually reliable information? Is it from a good source? Can we double-check the facts? We're always doing all of that hard work, so you don't have to. You know, there's a lot of sources of information out there, and some of them are better than others. We all know this to be true. We're doing the work of doing all of that checking so that you don't have to. When you pick up the World Almanac, not only do you know that you can rely on what's on the page, we also list our sources right there. Usually with every single table of data, you can see a source line that'll cite our source, and you can actually go and do further research if you want to, but you know that we're being transparent about where all of this information is coming from.
Sarah, when you woke up this morning, did you think you would say the word on the radio, vetting that hamster list?
You know what? I really did not, but congratulations to us both for getting me to say it.
Well, the other thing, too, is that for people who want a little pizzazz, I don't know what to call it, but right smack dab in the middle, pictures, not just pictures, color pictures. I think that's a nice little ad.
Yeah, the World Almanac does its best to put together the year-end pictures every year to really represent all of the news events, both the serious side of things, so with national and world news, but we also have some great pictures of sports photos, what's been happening in the creative arts and with people. Also, a really fantastic number of images that commemorate those we've lost in the past year. You know, it's easy over the course of the year to lose track. This is sort of like those in memoriam segments that you see at the Oscars, but, you know, in static formation. And it really can be a nice way to reflect on the past year in a visual format.
When you think, too, about how, you know, written teeny-weeny 1681 Pilgrim's Progress was printed, do you think, oh, nobody cares, but yet you know somebody out there cares? That's what's kind of cool, huh?
Well, absolutely. You never know when a future Jeopardy contestant is going to be using the World Almanac to buff up history knowledge or memorize all of the presidents in order or make sure they know the, you know, top 10 or top 20 most populous countries. We've got all of that information in there and then some. You know, we're trying to provide the best possible source on all of these different topics. And, you know, I think the people that still pick up the World Almanac every year will say that we're staying on top of things pretty well. We're always changing it, always adding new information, always making sure that we're staying on top of the new, the authoritative, the new research, and making sure that we're giving it a good format for our readers to then be able to read and interpret for themselves.
Well, you think about 2012, we're still in it, a tumultuous year for many reasons, but also, when I was a kid, there hadn't been a non-Italian pope for like 500 years, and then we got a Pole and a German and an Argentine, and I never, ever, ever thought we would have an American pope. How about that?
Definitely a huge surprise for a lot of people around the world in 2025. Took a lot of people by surprise, for sure, and it was a lot of fun to cover the news story from that perspective, from the perspective of the first United States-born pope, the first, you know, local to Chicago pope. There were all of those debates, of course, about whether he was a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan. That was definitely definitively answered eventually. But I think that people find a lot to talk about when you have a big appointment like that that means so much to so many people around the world.
And also staying to date, too, because when I was a kid, we'd always look up, you know, whose flag was what. But now we have South Sudan. Now we have a North Macedonia. And I know that didn't happen in 2025, but my point is you got to always be on the ball, right?
Absolutely. These are things that not everyone needs to pay attention to, but the World Almanac editors certainly do. We've got to make sure we've got those new flags. We need to make sure that our maps are reflective of the world as it exists today. And that's something that, you know, that's why we're working on it year-round. We don't just start, you know, 2 months before the book goes to press in November. We're staying on top of the events in the world all year round and looking for new developments, new sources, making sure that we're staying on top of all of the news so that our readers really don't have to. They can just pick up the World Almanac and find out more.
Last question, and maybe you don't have an answer out of the top of your head, but out of the nearly 1,000 pages, maybe is your favorite page or two?
Oh gosh, you can't make me pick a favorite, Rick. But I do really enjoy working on the offbeat news story every year. It's a nice break from the more serious topics that we work on. You'll be happy to know that this year we include the story of a new museum that opened in Croatia that's dedicated solely to laughter, and it is called the Ha Ha House, which I just think is a very fun name. The name alone makes me laugh, and I would be interested to see the exhibits that apparently are all devoted to making you laugh as well.
That sounds like a bad, like, comedy place in Tulsa. I'll be at the Ha Ha House all weekend.
Perhaps. Maybe they have like a stand-up stage there as well, so you can do your worst.
Amazing stuff. And if you thought you were smart, you're not, because all this information you don't know yet. It's in the World Almanac and Book of Facts 2026, available from World Almanac Books. And we have been speaking with executive editor Sarah Janssen. Sarah, thank you so much for your time, and congrats on this amazing tome.
Thank you so much, Rick, for having me, and have a happy New Year.
You too. Very good. That's the thing we always say now is happy holidays. I worked with this guy one time, and we were interviewing somebody whose name was, I think it was like Shlomo Goldberg, and at the end he goes, "Hey man, happy Easter," and the guy went, "Yeah, happy Easter." I go, "Why would you say that to him?" "Why? Do you think he's Jewish?" I'm like, just say happy holidays. Then nowadays no one will get offended. All right, the World Almanac rules, y'all. Come on back, we'll talk about Cook on Sports Byline.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROYAL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROYAL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROYAL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about a science book. Don't know much about the French I took. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
The dulcet toe-tapping tones of the great Sam Cooke, maybe his most famous song right there. Rick Tittle back with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Net. network, and I fancy myself as an amateur historian. Let's bring in a real historian, a musical historian, and is our good friend Scott G. Shea, who's been here several times. He's also the author of the book, All the Leaves Are Brown, How the Mamas and Papas Came Together and Broke Apart. And over the last couple of years, we've talked about some of the subjects that Scott has focused on. And Scott, welcome back to the show. I know you have been writing a lot about Sam Cooke lately, and the anniversary of his death was about a week ago. And shot at a motel, and the police said he was dead when we found him, and then the lady that ran the hotel said he was attacking me, I shot him in the chest. Like, we never really found out what happened there. Do you know what happened?
There's no, I don't know if anybody really knows what happened. It's my opinion that it kind of happened the way it went down. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and those are fun and everything, but they're pretty much unprovable, and it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that Sam goes to this place with an alleged prostitute, and it's kind of a haven for that kind of behavior, and nobody wants to talk, after it happens. There's no who wants to be a witness to something like that if you're engaged in that activity. So it's not that far fetched. Could it be a mafia thing or a governmental thing? Maybe, I don't know, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that it just went down the way it happened.
And he had a lot of tragedy in his life and his family, and multiple marriages and kids out of wedlock for a guy who was only 33 when he died.
Yeah, and obviously his situation at home was strained. Their youngest son, he drowned in a swimming pool, kind of unsupervised out there. He was like 2 or 3 years old, which is kind of crazy. And after Sam died, his wife Barbara, his widow, married Bobby Womack. Within 3 months after his death. So there's obviously some marital problems going on there. So. But it's so funny. The guy's music is so joyful and so uplifting that I think that's why people don't talk about it. I think it's hard to picture him in that situation, and I think that's kind of why it kind of got lost amongst the shuffle of the deaths of Buddy Holly and Otis Redding and Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, and Jimi Hendrix, and all these others who died young around that same time.
The other thing too is you think about his buddy Lou Rawls, or you think about like a contemporary like James Brown. Those guys are amazing talents, but Sam was different in that he had kind of he could have been an actor. He was a very handsome guy. He had it all. He had it all.
He had panache, as we say, right? He did. I don't know that he ever really acted in anything, but I could totally see him moving into that. He was just he oozed charisma and personality, and it's just from even looking at pictures of him, he's always got that big smile, that just genuine smile on him, and it's just reflected in his music and his legacy.
So when he was growing up, how much of his background was gospel singing, and how much of it was doo-wop?
I think obviously the gospel came first. His father was an evangelical minister in Chicago Heights and his own church, and Sam formed his own gospel group at age 14, which at times included Lou Rawls. They kind of grew up in the same area, and but they were so pulled in, like everybody was, by the great street harmony sounds and. Sounds of the Ink Spots, everywhere from the Ink Spots to the Ravens to Billy Ward and the Dominoes. It was so all-encompassing, and black people and white people alike, and everything in between. They were influenced by those sounds, and Sam was able to really incorporate all that into his music to such a profound effect.
By the way, I have this old 78. It's the best of the Ink Spots. Every song begins bum 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 bum. Every one.
Like really, it was like for years and years. It's crazy. And then all the songs kind of sound a little different, but they all have that same intro because they hit it with "If I Didn't Care." They had a big hit with that, and was like, let's go with it for every song.
So I mentioned we heard "Wonderful World" on the way in, but it was probably "You Send Me." That was the first one that got him the worldwide fame, right?
It was right out of the gate. It was a #1 hit, and has been covered by a lot of people, since then. And you played "Wonderful World," and it is arguably his most popular song, and a heck of a lot better than the version that James Taylor and Art Garfunkel did, in my opinion.
Well, the other thing too is we always, like, I went to see Jim Morrison's grave in Paris, and that whole group with Joplin and Hendrix, the ones at Cobain, even the ones that died too early. But how come we never talk? We don't throw. I know he's a little bit older at 33, but why don't we throw Sam Cooke in there?
That's a good question. It was kind of one of the points of my article. We really don't, and it's kind of I don't know why. And maybe it's because of the seediness of the way he died, but it's like, it's not better to die of a heroin overdose. It's not, it's like, I mean, if he died in a seedy motel at the hands of, a pimp or whatever you want to call it, for lack of a more politically correct term, I wouldn't say dying of a drug overdose is more noble, So I don't know. I think it just I was talking to somebody earlier about this. I think maybe it just got lost in the shuffle. There's just so much, and Sam Cooke, he died too. We forgot about that. But his music, it never suffered for it. It has always been played. It's still in commercials and movies today. I hear it all the time. So it's fairly. I don't have an answer to that, but maybe we can going forward can start including it.
I would probably say there's like you said, there's no good way in quotes to die, but maybe the worst, if you talk about this genre of entertainer, Marvin Gaye being shot by his dad.
Yeah, right.
That's about.
And he never. Yeah, and that, again, that's also never really brought up. I mean, you always know that, Marvin Gaye, he died, and, he was shot by his dad. It is. I guess those ones are particularly just really hard to take, maybe. Maybe that's what it is.
Now, to compare, and I shouldn't compare, but right around, and he was a little bit later, but Otis Redding, he was in his mid-20s too, right?
Yeah, I think, he was, and it's funny because he always looked like he was about 40, but he was under 30, I know, when he died, and also another one just profoundly influenced by Sam Cooke. I mean, he co-wrote Sweet Soul Music with Arthur Conley, which was based off a Sam Cooke song called Yeah Man. So, and he covered a lot of Sam Cooke, and, I think Sam Cooke really helped make the blueprint for that Stax Memphis sound.
It reminds me of the Tina Fey joke. She said, I don't know if Tracy Morgan is 26 or 56.
Yeah, right.
Some people just have that look, yeah. But the other thing about Cooke is that when you just talk about, I mean, there are some guys like, it's a cute guy, it's a cute girl, whatever, and then they have a couple of hits and you don't hear them. But that voice, the range, I don't know if you would call it a tenor, but it's just instantly recognizable, and the pitch and all those things that are above my pay grade. I mean, he had such great vocal ability.
Yeah, he did. He could really stretch it. It was pleasant, I don't know that he could sing opera music, but, he did pop music and rhythm and blues exceptionally well, and I would probably put him as one of the top vocalists of that era, quality-wise and just for sheer pleasantness, if that's a word.
And then you think about influencing, and not just here, but like Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney, and then here, like Al Green, guys, Stevie Wonder, guys like that.
Yeah, he ran the gamut, The Rolling Stones I know they recorded at least one Sam Cooke song, and let's not forget all the people at Motown, like Smokey Robinson and the Temptations and Four Tops, and they were all influenced by Sam Cooke. He really, and not only, even in the look, in the Netflix documentary, The Two Killings of Sam Cooke, Smokey Robinson talked about how Sam started growing his hair out and had kind of like a mini afro. I mean, it's not like the big afro we know in the 70s, but he was one of the first to take that that whatever that chemical was they put in their hair to try to slick back and look like Elvis, the black artists, and just let it grow out. And they did, and if you look back at pictures of him around 63, 64, sure enough, there it is. You see it starting to puff out.
And then finally, his funeral, like a couple of funerals, but like hundreds of thousands of people came out.
Yeah, they did, and it was, I believe it was in Los Angeles. It was held, and and James Brown was there. I think I might have heard that Elvis Presley was even there. So he just, he was beloved, and it's incredible that he just, he died in '64. There's obviously a lot of headlines about it for a few weeks after that, and then it just kind of went away.
And just to wrap up, the whole thing about government, was it because a change is going to come and people are like, civil rights, that's going to, that's going to...
Yeah, the Netflix documentary, a lot of the people there seem to, and it's kind of low-hanging fruit, I think, but it's like, he was friends with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, and those guys were very vocal in the Jim Crow laws and changing things for the better in the civil rights movement. And Sam was involved in that. But it's weird that they would just pluck off Sam and not and obviously Malcolm X was killed, but Muhammad Ali lived a good long life. So I don't know. It's always easy to do that. I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know. It could be, but I mean, good luck proving that.
I got to watch that doc now. All right, Scott, tell people where they can see you, read you, hear you.
Go to my website, scottsheaauthor.com, and Shea is spelled S-H-E-A.
Like butter, right?
Yep, you got it.
Scott like butter. Scott G. Shea, musical historian. Read his articles in Strange Brew as well. Scott, great stuff, man. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for putting me back on.
All right, good stuff. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline.
You know I'll always be your slave. John Barry, in my grave. Oh, honey, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch most of your favorite shows on your mobile device anywhere for a lot less than cable. Yes, that's right. We are asking you to watch more TV and not less TV, but make it better television with Dish this time, anytime, anywhere. So call right now and learn how easy it is to save on your television bill and get the most out of your TV viewing experience. Dial that number and I promise you we're here waiting for your call because we want to save you money and give you better television. We are Dish TV.
800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. That's 800-293-0328.
Hey, vacation lovers! It's finally time to use all those random facts you learned on TikTok for something that actually matters. It's the Radio Trivia Challenge from thevacationbuddies.com. All right, here's how it works. Be one of the first 10 callers right now and you'll score a complimentary 3-day, 2-night getaway from the Vacation Buddies. You'll stay at none other than Westgate Resorts in your choice of Vegas, Orlando, Myrtle Beach, or Branson. You ready? According to travel stats, which of these 3 cities is the most visited vacation destination in the U.S.? A, Las Vegas, B, Orlando, C, New York City. First 10 callers get the trip. So stop scrolling and start dialing. And let's see if TikTok actually taught you anything.
Be one of the first 10 callers. Call Vacation Buddies right now. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. That's 800-340-1834.
Okay, let's have a little fun.
Do you use the expensive blue pill to perform better? Are you thinking about it? So what if we can promise you results for less than $1 a pill? Okay, so these same pills can cost you $30 or more at a pharmacy. And our Better Blue Pill works for less than $1 a pill. You'll save $29 or more per pill. And right now, we'll give you 120 blue pills for just $99. Have a little fun and call right now. Get 120 of our Better Blue Pills for just $99. Don't overpay for the other blue pills. Call Steel Man Pills right now and get the Better Blue Pill for less than $1 a pill. Call 1-800-BUY-BLUE, 1-800-BUY-BLUE. It's easy to remember. 1-800-BUY-BLUE. That's 1-800-BUY-BLUE. And thanks for calling.
People ask me, were you must have been the class clown, and I say, no, I wasn't, but I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him.
Rick Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Coming up a second hour, Joel Kim Booster, and a lot of open lines. 1-800-7A-PLAY. For those of you who think that Philip Rivers coming back in the league, and remember, J.D. Sharp of Pro Wagering says that the NFL is doing this to prime us on Tom Brady coming back. We'll see about that. But Philip Rivers is a grandfather, and usually you're not old enough to say, hey, my dad plays in the NFL. If you are, you're like a second or third grader, right? Well, even though his grandchild is a baby, Philip Rivers is a grandfather, and he has children between the ages of 2 and 23. So one of his kids, it's one of those situations, I think we've all seen it, where an aunt or an uncle is the same age as their niece or nephew. It happens. All good. But for those of you who say, oh, now he restarts his Hall of Fame clock because he has to wait another 5 years. There's another way of looking at it. This means that he's guaranteed 5 more years of NFL health insurance for his entire family. Because once you retire, they give you an extra 5 years. Now, he's made about $250 million. He's made $244 million. But still, if you think about premiums on insurance, 10 kids and his wife, that's 12 insurance policies that will be paid for for the next 5 years. And he knows he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. If you put quarterbacks in who never won jack like Dan Fouts, and Philip Rivers has statistically outplayed Dan Fouts on the same team, then you have to put him in, right? And remember, he doesn't swear either. He says, "Dad gummit." Yeah. So, he had kids in college, I guess. I mean, his oldest is 23, and now they have a kid, so they're following in the old family footsteps there. All right, we got another hour to go. Would love your participation at 1-800-878-PLAY. Come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning. And I know you've been wondering, Mike, where you been? Well, I'm not going to hold you. I've just been lazy. Took an extra day off. I apologize. I'll go on a little bit longer today to make up for it. Hopefully hearing the last commentary so many times will keep Mets fans talked off the ledge until free agency is over. We know that's a lie. Those people stay on the ledge, but now that Monday Night Football is over, I'll take a look back at the last few days and give you some of my thoughts. And I'll start with the fallout of Sharon Moore's sad tale at the University of Michigan as rumored names to replace him have begun swirling. Coaches like Jed Fish and Kenny Dillingham might be realistic, but it also feels like Michigan would be interested in talking to plenty of NFL guys, not the least of which would be Baltimore's John Harbaugh, whose time with the Ravens feels like it's running out. 44-year-old grandfather Philip Rivers didn't die on Sunday, playing in the NFL for the first time in 5 years, so that was nice. What wasn't as nice was the collapse of the once promising Colts playoff chances. It also wasn't nice for Seattle, who looked terrible and now on a short week needs to step up their game or risk getting beaten down further by the Rams. The Chiefs lost in ugly fashion to the Chargers, ending their 10-year playoff run and losing Patrick Mahomes to a torn left ACL, and it's reassessment time in Kansas City. Mahomes makes a ton of money, as does Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs also have the NFL's highest paid kicker, defensive lineman, center, and guard. Right tackle Juwan Taylor already feels like a looming postseason cut, but the Chiefs front office has a lot of hard decisions upcoming in order to keep their dynasty moving. The loss of Micah Parsons, also to a torn left ACL, was not just terrible for the Packers, but also terrible for fans of great defensive players. Along with Myles Garrett, Parsons is the elite, and losing him for the playoffs is a loss for the game. And Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy on Saturday night, which was both expected and well-deserved, although a strong case could have been made for any of the Final Four. In fact, Diego Pavia himself must have thought he had the strongest case, because after Mendoza was announced as the winner, Pavia took to social media to tell the Heisman voters they could fornicate with themselves in ways that are anatomically impossible. He's since apologized, but for a quarterback who is barely 6 feet tall, it was a bad look to NFL types who are already looking to hold things against you. And it was also a good reminder to everyone that it's okay to put the phone down for a little bit if you're upset and or inebriated before you hit send on that text or social media post. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is the team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly. Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits a year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that. Hour 2, 3 underway. The Oakland Ballers won the Pioneer League in their second year, and the championship rings are really cool. They're silver and black with green bees in the middle. There's also a version for $400 to the owners or investors, of which I am one. It was offered to me for $400 as a quote-unquote investor/owner that I could buy one. And I'm not going to buy one, because not that I'm proud of the bees, it's just that I don't think I deserve it. I didn't earn it. And you should only wear something like that if you earned it. Now, they also have offered called a community ring, which is gorgeous. It looks just like it, except without your name on the side. It just says Oakland Never Quits. It's got the tree. On the other side, it says Oakland Ballers PBL wins record 73-23, and then the front looks like a million diamonds. I don't know what quality they are, because they're offering these rings for $73.23. That was the record. Pretty cool, $73.23. So for $75, if you want a knockoff that looks amazing with the green bees in the middle, as I said, silver and black, and I don't know if it's CZ or whatever, but it's a beautiful ring. And I think that's really cool. I think it's amazing that I got offered just as an investor, and there are a ton of investors that put money in. And it's not an investment, because you're not going to see any money back, but it's just to help the team out. I think that's really cool. They offered us a chance. Now, the actual team, the rings they get in the front office. By the way, they won the award for best front office in the Pioneer League, and why wouldn't they have won that award? But, and as we speak, they're signing players right now. The GM, Tyler Peterson, the manager, Aaron Miles, the staff is back. They're signing players as we speak, getting ready for the new season. There's huge turnover. They do have a couple guys coming back. Isai Santos from Berkeley will be back. He was kind of a fan favorite, utility guy as well. So, anyway, the Ballers rings are really cool. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? You'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, Go Puff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Every champion has a team behind them, And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion. Their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Do you have a book? Get it out of your mind and make it a real book with a free guide to book publishing. Trying to publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of time that you could spend writing your book or even more books. Do what you do best. We can do the rest. Thousands of authors across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing. It's a free phone call. Remember, make this free call right now and learn how to turn your book into something real that people can buy. Get your free writer's guide. Call right now, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's great to welcome back to the show the very talented and funny Joel Kim Booster. He will be in town for Sketchfest, and he's got a few things going on. Joe Firestone, Friends of Single People, that'll be at Cobb's on the 30th. Also Porchlight, a storytelling series at Sports Basement. Interesting, they're going to have something over there. That's right, at Chrissy Field by the bridge. Joel Kim Booster and friends obviously will be here at the Great American Music Hall. And also Bad Dates with Joel Kim Booster. That'll be Sunday the 1st, a 4 o'clock show at Cobb's. Joel, welcome to the show once again. And you know, out here at Cal, they have a quarterback named Jaron Kelly Sangapolatele, and we just call him JKS. Has anybody ever tried to call you JKB?
Oh, yeah, all the time. That is one of my many nicknames. I mean, when you have 3 names, you got to shorten it somehow. So JKB is definitely something I hear often.
Very good. So a very busy 3 days. In fact, 2 of those, that Friday night, January 30th, you're going to have to run from one to the other, right?
Yeah. But I mean, that's the best thing about Sketchfest is there's so many shows. And I mean, it's great for comedians like myself who love to perform in San Francisco, and it's great for the audiences too. Any excuse to get to San Francisco and perform, honestly.
Very cool. And I love your background from Korea, but then a Midwest sensibility as well. But, you know, it's very eclectic and unique, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about my background is I'm pulling from a lot of different inspiration points. So I had a really unusual upbringing and a really unusual adulthood, and just sort of mixing the two together and mining it for as much material as I can get.
And then what's it like going to a small Christian school in Decatur at Millikan?
Millikan. Well, Millikan's not a Christian school. I will say. By that point in my life, I had escaped Christian schools for good at that point. It was a very good theater school, though. And I will say Decatur, Illinois is the soybean capital of the world.
Really?
Or it was at one point. I don't know if it still is. But it is known throughout the region for that, and it smells. I don't know if you've ever smelled soybean processing before, but it's like hot dog food on a skillet, and it is one of the worst things you'll ever experience. So it's a darn good school because people put up with that smell all the time.
You know, it just reminds me, I do see commercials now where, because, for a lot of Americans, dogs are more important than people, and they say, this is real, and they show them cooking the food, and I'm like, hot dog food, huh? That's but the smell doesn't sound good.
No, not super appetizing at all.
I just brought that up because a friend of mine, his dad was a Presbyterian minister in Berkeley, and I remember him talking about how that was a super Presbyterian school, but maybe that was back in the day.
There's a couple of Millicans, though, so I think that there might be a Presbyterian Millican out there. You'd be surprised.
Gotcha. So tell me about the shows. First of all, the ones with your names on it. Let's start with the first one, Saturday, January 31st, Joel Kim Booster and Friends.
Yeah, I mean, that is just literally my most bald excuse to perform stand-up comedy in San Francisco and not have to headline. I love headlining in San Francisco. It's my favorite place to headline in San Francisco, but on a weekend like Sketchfest, I think about half an hour is all I can do in one show, and so I invite a lot of my funniest friends that are also appearing at the fest, and we put on a really fun show. Famously, a couple years ago, the show was in Chinatown at the Great Star Theater, or Red Star Theater, and it was during Chinese New Year, though, so we performed and it sounded like we were in Fallujah at the time, in the middle of a war zone with all the fireworks. So you never know what will happen in a Joel Kim Booster and Friends show.
Well, that's one of the things I think that's endearing about you and appealing, is that you are very transparent about your life. And I know a few years ago you said that you were bipolar, and I always wonder about the spectrum of that, because on the one hand, you hear about bipolar people being like, out of control. But on the other hand, is it controllable? And for you, since you're public about it, if you don't mind me asking, how does it affect you, Joel?
I mean, it affects me in a lot of ways. I think that it is definitely a spectrum. It is in terms of severity. I'm very lucky that mine is manageable with the right regimen of self-care as well as medication. And quite honestly, I think for a long time, being a comedian, I sort of saw it as some sort of, I don't know. I saw it as almost useful in a way, and it made it really difficult to actually treat it and make sure that it was under control, because I felt like I would be less creative if I did. And it wasn't really until I met my partner that I sort of had a come to Jesus moment about the importance of my own mental health to being able to do this kind of work. I think it's a lie that the disease tells you that you can't be creative without it. And so, it's changed my material, like getting it under control and, treating it. And it's changed the kind of comic that I am. It's changed everything about my life, really. And I owe a lot of that to my fiance.
You also are a very good actor, and I just wonder if you took to that to a fish to water, or maybe it took a lot of hard work, because this isn't like some comedian coming in and doing fart jokes, and you're in some dramatic roles.
Yeah, I mean, that's Milliken, I have to say. As I studied, when I was there, I was studying performance in theater, and for the longest time, I thought I was going to be a classically trained Shakespearean actor professionally, and that was the goal. I wanted to be. I was like drama with a capital D. That's what I wanted to do, and then somehow found myself doing stand-up comedy for a living for the last 15 years. So I think it's a lot of what you see when I'm called up to do those sorts of roles on TV or movies or something like that. It comes from that training. It comes from that background. And it's so funny because I never thought once I started doing stand-up that I'd ever have to use it ever again. But that's the thing about being successful as a stand-up. Once you get successful as a stand-up, they ask you to do everything but stand-up.
Well, last question for you. To me, that's the hardest thing is stand-up. And I love, when I go to New York, I love going to the Village and those three that are connected, the VU, the Fat Black, and the Cellar, and I'll go up to the Strip, Gotham, whatever. I'm just a huge comedy nerd. So when you move there from Chicago, and I'm sure you're trying to get a mic in Brooklyn or do anything, and then to get wrecked. And how much with the staying power? Because I'm sure, like everybody, you're like, this is a waste of time.
I mean, for me, like, this is the thing about stand-up is that it is like the closest thing in many ways to a meritocracy in the arts. Like, you know, you can say that I, you know, got cast in this, that, or the other thing for any number of reasons that I might not deserve it or what have you. But when I'm on stage as a stand-up and I am killing it and the audience is laughing, in that moment, you can't tell me anything, because people don't force laughter for a full hour. They just don't do it. And so in that moment, I always want to do stand-up for as long as it's relevant to me, because it's the thing that it reminds me that I'm good at what I'm doing, because the audience is either laughing or they're not laughing. There's no politics to that. There's no, nepotism. There's no favoritism. It's just, are you funny in that moment or not? And so I hold that really dear to my heart, and want to continue to do it for as long as I'm good at it.
That is the purity of it. I mean, Seinfeld said there's no grad school for it. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your background, nothing. If you're funny, you will rise to the top. Yeah, great stuff. All right, once again, Sketchfest is going to be starting up here in the new year, and Joel Kim Booster, 3 shows, 2 on Friday the 30th, first Sports Basement in the Presidio, Porchlight, a storytelling series, and then Joe Firestone, Friends of Single People, that'll be at Cobb's. Then on Saturday the 31st, Joel Kim Booster and Friends at the Great American Music Hall, which is a great venue. And then Bad Dates with Joel Kim Booster. That'll be an interesting Sunday 4 p.m. show over here on Columbus at Cobb's. Joel, thanks for coming on again, and have a great time when you're in town.
Thanks for having me. Always, always.
All right, good stuff. We'll take a quick break, and we have open lines the rest of the hour, so don't be shy. 1-800-878-PLAY.
If you've got a property that you've been trying to sell and you've tried almost everything, I want to tell you about something that you haven't tried yet. You're going to think this offer is too good to be true, but it's not. Thousands of customers have sold their homes in any condition with Need to Sell My Home. This is a real opportunity from a highly rated company that buys homes all over the country. Did you know it's possible to sell your home right over the phone with no real estate commissions and no pesky open houses? Plus, every offer is a cash offer with no mortgage holdups. To find out how much you can sell your home or property for, call now. Take 5 minutes of your time and call for this 100% free quote to sell your home.
800-430-0674. 800-430-0674. 800-430-0674. That's 800-430-0674.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history and 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with 1 coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win you case, and they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163.
This is special too. Look, see? Still got the old tagger on it. See, never even played it. See?
You just bought it?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point?
No, it can't be played. Never.
Well, can I look at it?
No.
Don't
Enough
look
of that
at it.
one.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. I still have that Spinal Tap album. I watched the F out of that show. It was such a great movie. I could do the whole thing for you right now, every line, and no one wants to hear that. And by the way, just as an aside, and maybe I do too many of these personal asides, but I saw Joel Kim Booster. It was I don't know, about 3 months ago maybe, and he was at some event with his fiance, he's a tall guy with facial hair. I forgot what his name was, but also on some TV show. And as I said, he said they're engaged now. They couldn't have looked more happy together. And I always just wonder about people who are against that. I know this sounds Pollyannish, but wouldn't the world be a better place if everybody was just happy? Isn't it? If they could be with the person that they want to be with. And look, they're going to have their ups and downs because every couple does, and maybe they'll break up. Especially in California, half of all couples do. But I just thought of why would somebody be against two people just being blissfully happy? I don't know.
By the way, his fiance John Michael Sudsina is the principal creative producer at Riot Games, so I can't say that he's wildly famous.
I think they were on a show called Fire Island together, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Riot Games, that's right down my alley as well. That's Dominic you just heard in there. And finding out today that Derek Skubal, who has won back-to-back size in the junior circuit, he now today has announced that he will join Team USA's World Baseball Classic roster, which I think is fantastic because now the 1-2 punch of Paul Skeens and Derek Skubal, that's Cy Young and Cy Old. That's both. And so you also have a couple of the guys, Joe Ryan of the Twins and Nolan McLean of the Mets. But the manager there, Mark DeRosa again, who was in consideration to be the Giants manager, former Giant.
You also have Matthew Boyd of the Cubs and Clay Holmes from the Mets, too.
Yes, I was getting to that. Very good, Dom. Clay Holmes and Matthew Boyd. And that's pretty amazing that they can have that 1-2 punch and then bring in some other guys as well. Merrill Kelly, Lance Lynn, Adam Wainwright, and Nick Martinez. But, it just showed that was the rotation last time around. I'm throwing in those names. And I was at that World Baseball Classic. I've been to two of them. The games go all over the world, and in Miami and San Francisco, that one, and was that 2012 or 2014, somewhere in there. And then I guess it was 2 years ago at down in Phoenix. I was there. It's 2023 was when I was, because I said Kelly, Lynn, Wainwright, Martinez. Now it's Scooble, Skeens, Ryan, and McLean. I did see Buster Posey talking about Logan. Because in 2023, Logan Webb signed on, and then they gave him an extension, and he quit Team USA. So there's no doubt the Giants said, if you sign this, you're not pitching for Team USA. Buster, I saw him interviewed about the World Baseball Classic, and he didn't want any Giants playing in it because he said that he just talked about getting ramped up really. And it has nothing to do with him being anti-American. It just has to do with him doing his job. His number one concern is the Giants, and that's what he's been paid a lot of money for. So for us baseball fans, especially Americans, we want America to win. And I've said this before, and Buster has a plan about timing and getting ramped up and, getting off your normal schedule and being put into situations maybe you wouldn't be put into. But you're asking baseball players to play baseball is what it is. Now, that's, people were saying the other day about Patrick Mahomes tearing ACL and go, oh, this is because of 17 games. And I just want to scream from the mountaintop, it wasn't the 17th game. If he tore it in the 17th game, you actually have an argument. You don't. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. So I think when you ask, and especially it's during spring training, it's not in December right now. So they're playing baseball anyway. So I'm not a professional athlete, believe it or not, right? I don't think, now with pitchers, I understand it, but basically when Posey was asked about Logan Webb, if you read between the lines, he was basically saying, no, Logan Webb is not going. So, all right, I'd rather have Logan Webb than those other two guys. Google and Skeens I'd rather have them, but I'd rather have Webb than Ryan or McLean. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that Team USA has taken this much more seriously than they used to, especially that Davey Johnson year and the Buck Martinez year. Those guys who were in charge. I guess Buck Martinez was first, but the Americans are now favorites to win. They've won one time. And remember last time, the championship game, you had Shohei Ohtani coming out of relief to strike out Mike Trout. All you can do is tip your hat. And Mike Trout isn't what he used to be, but it's basically your best guy against our best guy. You won. You got it. Japan, who won it 3 times. They won the first 2, and then last time. Their second favorites, the DR, third, and then fourth is Puerto Rico, the handsome port. And this will be the 6th iteration of this, and it's going to start in March. And so, like I said, the USA have only won one time. That was back in 2017, and I'd like to see it again. But I remember years ago on the field at the Bob or Chase Field in Phoenix and seeing some of the guys taking BP for Team USA. And I remember Kyle Hishigawa, and I was like, that guy shouldn't be a USA catcher. There were a lot of guys, I'm like, really, him? I remember seeing Freddie Freeman for Canada. His waist was like a 20-inch waist. He was so skinny up close. But then the biggest barrel chest I've ever seen, and I've been in NFL locker rooms many times, the biggest barrel chest I ever saw was Michaelis with the Cards, the pitchers. Is it Miles Michaelis? Yeah. Just and the thing is that when you see these guys on the field, I'm so used to just seeing, especially for years covering the A's, I knew everybody in the American League, even with Interleague. There were times though when there'd be National League guys like who's the Marlins backup catcher? I'm like, I don't know. Now I'm at the point, which I hate to admit, I see Gold Glove winners, and I'm like, who? I have no idea who that guy is. Do you really mail it into? I'm sorry, but it can happen. But I love the fact that Scooble and Skeens, who don't have to do this, are doing it. And when Steph Curry was unanimously named MVP, and he had a 45-minute press conference where he talked and talked, and he went over every guy on the team. Iguodala, Barbosa, everyone, and then he took questions. And at that time, he had never played in the Olympics, but he had played in a couple of FIBA championships. And I said, why, with the bad ankle, were you playing for Team USA when you could have gotten out of it? And he said, you have a chance to pull on a tank top that says USA with the flag. How do you not do that? And then the next Olympics came around. He's like, nah, I'm good. Remember the ship, the Zika virus in Rio, and everybody stayed on a ship, and that's where Draymond and KD bonded before their famous public falling out. But then they went on a pod and they blamed Steve Kerr for it. Okay, that's more info, more ammo for Dom to say Steve Kerr sucks. I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a break. Come on back on Sports Byline.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. And or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, buy handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect. And by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. American right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care that people can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year, and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org. Help them keep doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, health meets hope, and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
To me, it's like a mountain, a vast bowl of pus.
Who cares about anything else when you've got Rick Tittle on the radio?
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast. Lines are open, 1-800-878-PLAY. I got an email, and I won't say who wrote it because I'm going to disparage it. It's basically asking me to comment on something political. And look, I'll bring up things that have nothing to do with the show. Like I just said, you know, two men married each other and they're happy. Why would anybody care, you know, about what two strangers do? I mentioned the Rob Reiner thing yesterday just to give him a shout out for what an amazing talent he was. So yeah, I will vary off the sports highway and then try to get back on the on-ramp. But just to the person who wrote me an email wanted me to comment on something, it's such a superfluous issue, and so many times the clickbait news cycles in the United States. I mean, why do I look at all my news on Sky News on their app, right? And I wish I didn't have to look at English news, but it's usually there's no bent to it. But these things that they want you to get they think it's so important, and then people think it's important to them. Like Hunter Biden's laptop, or who's mayor of New York, or when will they release the Epstein list? And like, God, really, that's what your life is? Hunter Biden's laptop or the Epstein list is important. I'm not saying these aren't important, but they're really important to you personally. Just take a step back and think, well, of course it's important. Is it? Is that why you stay up at night? Hillary's emails? What kind of shirt Kanye was wearing? Did he wear a swastika today? I just, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Don, would you like a trivia question? Are you in the middle of something? You all right? All right. Tua has been benched, as we know, and Quinn Ewers is coming in. Interestingly enough, there were 4 quarterbacks taken in the 2020 draft who were all starters for their teams until Tua got benched. So who are the other 3 in that draft that are still the starters for the team that drafted them?
Okay, I always do my draft classes based on trading cards. 2020 is going to be Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts.
No.
Wait, what?
Different draft.
Oh, I thought Jalen Hurts was in that same class.
Well,
I was wrong.
Let me look it up.
Tua, not Mac Jones. He was 2021. I don't know the other guy. Oh, Trevor Lawrence. No, he was after 2. I don't know.
Very good getting 2 of them, though, I have to say. I want to see if this list is wrong and you were right about Jalen Hurts. But I think he played that one more year at Oklahoma, and that's why he got drafted.
Unless I missed it and you said first-round picks, because he wasn't.
That's what I meant. You're right. He was a second-round pick in that draft.
Okay, that's why.
Okay. All right, well, you know what? You already won because you got that one. You were right.
Was Daniel Jones in that draft, too?
No, the one I'm looking for is Jordan Love.
Oh, duh.
But that's not so much a duh, Utah State. But still, yeah, that list said first round because you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I know. 2020 football products, very expensive for caliber quarterback, same draft class.
Very good, Dominic Jimenez. Now, the interesting thing, and we talked about yesterday about Quinn Ewers being drafted, and as a Raider fan, I was like saying, why would they take Cam Miller in the 6th round out of South Dakota State over Quinn Ewers, the UT playoff quarterback, in the 7th for Miami? Well, I think a lot of us, including myself, forgot, I say us, the backup quarterback was not Quinn Ewers. It was Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson was like, what? So in the Miami Herald, Zach Wilson said, who I think was second or third by the Jets. He said, of course I would love to play. I can't control that. My job is to go out and do the best I can, keep preparing, getting better, supporting Quinn, excited for him to get his first start. So the reporter, Barry Jackson, said, well, what did McDaniel say to you? Quote, a little bit of an explanation. There is still confusion there, but you know what? That's how it goes sometimes. So Wilson will keep his job as the backup. 3rd string will be Tua. Wow, this isn't like, a straight swap. Tua goes to 3rd string, which means he probably won't even dress. Wilson said, yeah, obviously, depending on things go, I might get a chance, and that just goes without saying. It's always a competition. Would hope all these organizations would want to play the best player and try to win. Well, if you feel sorry for him, remember Wilson got $6 million to be a backup. And he is going to be a one and done in Miami because it was a 1-year deal. And so the reporter said, how about the Dolphins, your time here? He said, it's definitely been eventful, right? Guys have been great, and I appreciate the organization bringing me here. It's definitely been tough. I don't think the season has gone as well as we all had hoped, but wish we could have pulled out some more wins and things had gone a little smoother. Of course, I would like to be playing, but it happens, so we'll go from there. And, the guy is a multi-millionaire over and over. He's in his 20s, he's healthy, he's whatever you want, good looking, blah, blah, blah. That's all fine. All right, 1-800-878. The Puka Nacua was, I forget the name of the streamer he was with, some guy in his 20s. But he was basically saying, and it's come out, that refs try to get on TV in the NFL, and they just make calls. He goes, they're all lawyers and whatever, and of course they're regular people. They call PI just to get on TV. So we'll see, paraphrasing, we will see what the commissioner has to say about that, which ain't good. We also saw that his brother today, Samson, and by the way, I'm a big Puka Nacua fan because of his amazing talent and being a little bit of an afterthought. He still got drafted, but coming on the show and being very friendly and funny and affable. But Samson Nacua, his brother, is under arrest for stealing a car that belongs to Gutierrez of the Lakers. Very interesting sports crossover. Samson Nacua and a guy who's named Trey Rose. They're both 27 years old. And they face a charge of taking a vehicle without the owner's consent. That's one way of saying stealing. They were called to the One Hotel. That's in West Hollywood. After they traced the vehicle there. Everything has GPS in homes. So the suspects had the valet park the car, and they were inside the hotel, and they looked at the security footage, and they saw them getting out of the SUV. And so that's under investigation now. But Sampson played with Puka at BYU, and then he signed with the Colts after being undrafted. And then Nakua played for the USFL's Pittsburgh Maulers, and then he played for the UFL's Michigan Panthers, and then he was last year in camp with the Saints. But I don't know, Dom, maybe you can look it up. There's a video, and I don't know what, it must have been in the UFL, but Samson Nakua in full uniform on the field, some guy is like yelling at him from the stands, and he slaps the guy in the face. That's the thing that I remember about Samson Nakua. If that rings any bells with you, I don't know if you saw that video, but a guy was like going blah blah blah, and he's like, oh yeah, and he like pretends to slap him, and then he does slap him.
Samson Nakua, Puka Nakua's brother, suspended one UFL game after slapping fan in sideline instigation incident.
When was that? Was that last year?
This was posted 7 months ago. Let me get the actual date.
All right. That you don't need to.
Yeah, it's all April 29th, 2025.
Okay.
Multiple videos, which means it happened 7 months ago.
All right, very good. All right, and one more NFL note: the Bears. Remember, the Bears they said, "Look, we finally got the new deal. We're going to Arlington Heights," and I can just tell you right now, and I don't care if you live in Chicago, John, or anyone else. There's nothing wrong with Soldier Field. It's just old. You know, it's better than the Coliseum, which they had to get out of here. Soldier Field went through a huge makeover. Soldier Field is, I think, really nice. I don't understand why they have to leave Soldier Field. Do the toilets back up? That's BS. So first of all, let me go on record. Soldier Field is fine. But forever, they've been threatening to go here or there. And then they finally said, was it a couple years ago, we bought land in Arlington Heights, which is a northwestern suburb of Chicago, and everything's fine. This is where we're going to build our new state-of-the-art stadium. And they're like, okay, it's going to look like SoFi. It's going to look like Dallas Palace. I'm like, okay, great. Well, now, what happened? What had happened is that Bears president Kevin Warren is now saying that they might have to move to Gary, Indiana. What? Pardon me? Asphincter says what? What did you say? Squeeze me? What? I don't get it. Warren said, quote, stable timelines are critical as our predictable processes and elected leaders share a sense of urgency and appreciation for public partnership that projects what this level of impact require. We have not received that sense of urgency or appreciation to date. We have been told directly by state leadership our project will not be a priority in 2026, despite the benefits it brings to the state of Illinois. Wow. So they're going to move. Now, Gary is only like 15 miles inside the border, but they would join, obviously, the Giants and the Jets as teams who play in a different state than what they're supposed to be playing in. But how about that? You thought it was a done deal. They're mad. We're going to move to Indiana, where they don't have an NBA team. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch most of your favorite shows on your mobile device anywhere for a lot less than cable. Yes, that's right. We are asking you to watch more TV and not less TV, but make it better television with Dish this time, anytime, anywhere. So call right now and learn how easy it is to save on your television bill and get the most out of your TV viewing experience. Dial that number and I promise you we're here waiting for your call, because we want to save you money and give you better television. We are Dish TV.
800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. 800-293-0328. That's 800-293-0328.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property.
If you're thinking about calling Rick Tittle, just put down that phone and shut your ugly face.
That hurts my feelings. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on American Forces Radio Network. Very good news here in town that Greg Papa is going to be back calling the last few Niner games, the longtime voice of the A's and the Raiders and the Warriors, and has also done the Niners and has done TV work with the Giants. He is the Bay Area treasure that he is, out of Syracuse University, grew up in Buffalo, but a guy that I have known and worked with off and on for over 30 years. And I remember when I was doing Chronicle Live with him in the green room, he's like, he goes, "Yeah, you're one of the young hotshots." I go, "I'm 45. He's like, "What?" Because Greg was like 47. He goes, "You're 45. I go, "Greg, I worked with you for 10 years in TV and talked to you 100 times. He goes, "Yeah, I Well, he remembers me now. And I'm also good friends with his son, Derek, who started off, the first show he ever produced was one of my shows. And I met him when he was a little teeny kid. And now he's on the air at KMBR. And so I've known the Papa family a long time. And Greg is just, he's the most sports guy I've ever met. Even during commercials, he talked sport. And I'm like, "Can I breathe?" He'd be like, Redskins offensive line, 1983, go. I'm like, we're in a commercial. What are you doing? Anyway, great to have Greg back. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on in.
I'm Mike Sempervive with Sports Byline Broadcast Network 2-minute warning. And I know you've been wondering, Mike, where you been? Well, I'm not going to hold you. I've just been lazy. Took an extra day off. I apologize. I'll go on a little bit longer today to make up for it. Hopefully, hearing the last commentary so many times will keep Mets fans talked off the ledge until free agency is over. We know that's a lie. Those people stay on the ledge, but now that Monday Night Football is over, I'll take a look back at the last few days and give you some of my thoughts. And I'll start with the fallout of head coach Sharon Moore's sad tale at the University of Michigan as rumored names to replace him have begun swirling. Coaches Jed Fish and Kenny Dillingham might be realistic, but it also feels like Michigan would be interested in talking to plenty of NFL guys, not the least of which would be Baltimore's John Harbaugh, whose time with the Ravens feels like it's running out. 44-year-old grandfather Philip Rivers didn't die on Sunday, playing in the NFL for the first time in 5 years, so that was nice. What wasn't as nice was the collapse of the once promising Colts playoff chances, and it also wasn't nice for Seattle, who looked terrible and on a short week needs to step up their game or risk getting beaten down further by the Rams. The Chiefs lost in ugly fashion to the Chargers, ending their 10-year playoff run and losing Patrick Mahomes to a torn left ACL, and it's reassessment time in Kansas City. Mahomes makes a ton of money, as does Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs also have the NFL's highest paid kicker, defensive lineman, center, and guard. Right tackle Jawan Taylor already feels like a looming postseason cut, but the Chiefs front office has a lot of hard decisions upcoming in order to keep their dynasty moving. The loss of Micah Parsons also to a torn left ACL was not just terrible for the Packers, but also terrible for fans of great defensive players. Along with Myles Garrett, Parsons is the elite, and losing him for the playoffs is a loss for the game. And Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy on Saturday night, which was both expected and well-deserved, although a strong case could have been made for any of the Final Four. In fact, Diego Pavia himself must have thought he had the strongest case, because after Mendoza was announced as the winner, Pavia took to social media to tell the Heisman voters they could fornicate with themselves in ways that are anatomically impossible. He's since apologized, but for a quarterback who is barely 6 feet tall, it was a bad look to NFL types who are already looking to hold things against you. And it was also a good reminder to everyone that it's okay to put the phone down for a little bit if you're upset and or inebriated before you hit send on that text or social media post. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly. Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, we provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits a year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Rick Tittle knows his sports. I hate that guy. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries in the pan, and then he eats it. Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, bitch.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. A lot of open lines. 1-800-878-PLAY. Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting Jake Paul boxing match tomorrow on Netflix. Anthony Joshua said to Jake Paul, quote, "If I can kill you, I will kill you. It's my job. We fight. We have a license to kill. When you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be. Anything can happen. You hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you still have to go to bed at night knowing that you've just done your job. It wasn't personal." Jake Paul said, "Let's effing go, bro. Let's put on a show for the fans. Let's go to war. I want your hardest punches. I want there to be no excuses when it's all said and done. And let's effing kill each other. This is going to be the biggest upset in the history of sports, and everyone will be able to witness it." God, I don't like that guy. But, you know, he's smart because he knows that being unlikable gets him views, kind of like Rush Limbaugh. He knew that people hating him would help his ratings. Now, if Jake Paul wins this, then this is fixed, okay? There's no way. I don't care if he just throws a roundhouse with his eyes closed and hits him right on the jaw and knocks out Joshua by luck. That won't happen. So all the other fights and fighting a 61-year-old Mike Tyson and all this other stuff, I'm not going to watch it. I have no interest in it. But I can tell you that because it's not a fight, it's just a dumb exhibition. But if Joshua loses, it's because he was promised some insane amount of generational wealth. Maybe he's going to get like 10% of the New York Yankees. I don't know what he's going to get. But if he loses, it is a fix. That is just bottom line right now. So just know that going in, and get a hold of J.D. Sharp. I will ask him the same thing. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can vacation and get a free credit to use toward airline travel. We'll book both airline and hotel with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professional installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day, plus free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires, damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions of individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Mike Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, and we're excited to have J.D. Sharp with us. He's from Pro Wagering, professional handicapper, prognosticator, bettor, however you want to say it. He has the experience and the insights. And J.D., welcome back. And first of all, I have to ask you about your bud, and that is Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. He has retired. Now, I know he's getting near 40, but undefeated not that long ago, beat Canelo. Did this catch you out of the blue like a lot of it?
No, I mean, so here's what I think about this. Honestly, I think this is a really smart PR stunt by Terrence. And I'm still in touch with him, but I haven't talked as much as I used to talk to him. He so about a month ago, they took his belt, one of his belts, away from him because he didn't pay for it.
Mm.
It was like $250,000 the fee for the belt.
What?
And they just ripped it away. They just ripped it away. Yeah. And Jake Paul's talking about fighting Crawford if he beats Joshua this weekend. To me, this looks like it's kind of a middle finger to the promoters because Terrence has made money boxing, obviously, right? He probably made $30 million this last fight with Canelo. I would guess something like that, maybe $40 million for that fight. I'm not exactly sure how much how much he made on that fight, but he's probably made a collective $75 million since he started boxing, which is not that much comparatively to a lot of different boxers. So I think the stage is really set for him to get that $100 million fight. I think that's what he wants. I think that this is just kind of drawing hype to it. The video came out of nowhere. In the same way that Jake Paul made an announcement that he wanted to fight Crawford and he wanted to fight somebody else after Joshua. I mean, and I'll be honest, I was working on, back in 2022, I was in touch with Showtime talking about Terrence lined up with Jake Paul for a fight. We had investors to back it up, and for whatever reason, it fell through. I think it was more of a promotional thing, like a top-ranked promotional thing. But I think, I don't think he's done, Rick. I think this is more of a PR stunt, and if he does, in preparation for a huge announcement, to make that announcement that much bigger than it would already be. Now, again, he has money. He has a lot of real estate investments. He has, 8 kids?
Yeah, he's a family. He's a family man, right?
Yeah, he's definitely a family man. He's 38 years old, fine, but he looks like he's in great shape. He still works out every single day. He still trains. He has a gym in Omaha, Nebraska called the B&B Boxing Academy that he goes to, and he trains young boxers every single day there. He hangs out with guys like Shakur Stevenson. He still gets sent all over the world to different events. Again, it doesn't seem like this is how he would go out if he was going to go out. So I think that it's kind of an FU to the promotion company, number one, middle finger. But then also at the same time, I think it's a bit of a setting up a enormous fight like a Jake Paul or someone like that, where he actually gets that 9-figure payday that he's never gotten before on any fight, Rick.
All right. It's very interesting insights on that. Now, as you said that, Philip Rivers coming back was, you thought maybe setting the stage for a Tom Brady return. So I will say this, and you might disagree with me, but I firmly believe that if Joshua loses, that it is a fix. There's no way in a million years, not even with a lucky roundhouse with his eyes closed, that Joshua can get knocked out. So do you think that the fix is already in? Because I'm telling you that if Joshua loses, it's a fix.
Absolutely. Maybe. Now, because the odds aren't great. For Jake, they're bad. He's an 8-1 dog. You put up $100, you win 800 if you take Jake Paul. I think a lot of people do that. He's doing crazy stuff. He's using crazy terminology. In the weigh-in, they stood next to each other, or in the face-off, they stood next to each other, and he stuck his belly like a pregnant woman. He's really made a real mockery. Really, he's making a mockery of the sport is what Jake's actually done, and what he's done the entire time. Mm-hmm. And so if Paul beats Joshua, and Terrence calls Paul like a clown in the middle of the fight or something like that, imagine how many people would want to watch Terrence Crawford just beat the brakes off of Jake Paul.
Right.
A lot of people would. So I agree with you. I tend to agree with you in that regard. But if it is a fix, it's a fight where if you bet Paul, you're going to get a lot of money because the odds against him are extreme. We're talking plus 800 here, Rick.
I just wonder what Joshua has been promised, like a private island. It must be huge to take a fall on purpose.
Yeah, again, if it happens. But again, you got to look at, if the odds were closer together, if the odds were like Jake Paul, plus 120 or 130, right? But Anthony Joshua is minus 700, minus 6, whatever it is. The odds say that there's not a fix in, because if there is, Vegas has a lot of money. So I don't know, and also obviously Joshua was 6'6", 260 pounds or 250 pounds, and Jake Paul's probably 6'1", 210. Maybe 300. I like him. I like his feet, I like his footwork. I think he's strong. He's a pretty good boxer, but Joshua's it's just a different game. It's just a different game fighting a guy that's that much bigger than you and in such tremendous shape like Joshua. And Joshua's 28-4. He's a pretty good boxer in his own right. He's definitely no slouch by any stretch of the imagination, Rick.
All right, before I let you go, so many Thursday night footballs are just duds, and I don't even Friday morning I remember that this game even happens. But tonight might be the best one all year, because you've got the Rams at Seattle, both 11-3, and the winner is in really good position to win the NFC West. How do you see this one?
really tough game. Devon Simpson's not going to play, it looks like. I really like the Seahawks offense, and I have all year. Smith-Jigba, obviously, Arroyo, Cooper Kupp, Kenny Walker. They added Rashid Shaheed as well last couple of weeks, which was a big move because he has a speed element to them. Defensively, they're really good as well. They've got Billy Woolen. They've got Nick Amanawari, that safety out of South Carolina, first-round pick who's done really well, or maybe early second-round pick that's done really well. Obviously, Darnold's played good. The Rams have a good defense. I'm not sure exactly how good they are. They've played well up to this point. They did have one really bad game, and even the Lions did kind of slice them and dice them a little bit. So the Seahawks should score points if they have a fully healthy offense. And defensively, the Seahawks are better. I mean, I probably think they're better than the Rams. They have more size. They have more star power, I would say. I like the Seahawks here, to be honest with you. I think they win this game. The game may go under. We'll see about Stafford. Stafford's obviously had a great year. Got 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the MVP. I would not give it to May at this point. I realize May's had a great season, and he turned around the Patriots franchise. But 37-5, it's pretty tough to argue against, you know? Although I guess, Burrow had 4-3-9 last year, and he didn't win the MVP. So I guess if Stafford can if he can finish out like 42 or 44-5, 44-6, 42-6, I don't think you can't not give him MVP at that point. I think you have to do that, especially if he's on a 11 or 12-5 team, 13-4 team, whatever the circumstances are going to be. But tonight, not having Adams is a big deal. All this negative attention to Nakua with what he's doing with his new little touchdown dance that he's going to do, the money grubbing touchdown dance. And then things he said on Aiden Ross's podcast or live stream with that other guy, what's his name, Neon, a couple days ago. So I think that might be kind of a detraction, just kind of a detractor there. But I like the Seahawks, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to take them for probably 2 units, Rick.
You mean N3ON? I refuse to say Neon.
Yeah, N3ON. Yep.
All right, JD Sharp, Pro Wagering, great stuff, and I agree with you. 37-5 is absolutely insane. Have a good one, man.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in. And it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show you support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163.
Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Rick Tittle was elected at random from the phone book to host this show.
Hey, whatever works, man. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world. American Forces Radio Network. 1-800-878-PLAY. The number works coast to coast. And let's go to Akron with Avery. How are you, Avery?
Rick, how are you? It's nice to be on.
What's up, dude?
So I wanted to talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders. You know, I'm in Akron, Ohio here, big Cleveland Browns fan. And, you know, obviously the Browns are not having the season. Well, we haven't really had a season since 1999, but he's a talk of the NFL, and I just wanted to discuss his development a little bit.
Well, are you a Browns fan? Like, are you all in, or do you have, like, one or two eyebrows raised?
Well, I was born and raised here. I'm a loyal Cleveland sports fan. It's actually pretty miserable to be a Cleveland sports fan right now because our Cavaliers are not doing very well, and our Guardians are they can't find a dollar. So, unfortunately, for the rest of my life, I will be a Cleveland Browns and Cleveland sports fan. But
so, is it what is it? Is it St. Patrick, St. Vincent? Where did LeBron go to high school?
He went to St. Vincent St. Mary in Akron, Ohio.
That's it, okay. The rival of yours or your alma mater?
You know, what's funny is I actually went to the rival high school, which is Archbishop Hoban. They are a football powerhouse, and it got so bad with LeBron in the early 2000s of St. V just beating Hoban that they actually canceled the basketball game for about a decade, and they brought it back. So,
and I guess you could, because of Dell with his time at the Richfield Coliseum, you also have a very famous guy born there by the name of Steph Curry.
That is correct. And you know what? You just won $2 because I use that trivia on a lot of people and say, hey, name two players born in Akron, Ohio. And you're correct. It's LeBron James, Steph Curry, and also myself. I'm not an NBA basketball player, but I was born in the same hospital.
When I had Dell on a few months ago, I was in Cleveland in '86, and I remember the Richfield Coliseum at one point caught on fire, and it was out in the middle of that forest, whatever, and Dell said he remembered that, and he said sometimes guys would, on the Cavs, would bring their rifles, and after practice they would just go into those woods and shoot stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I live not too far away from where the Richfield Coliseum was, and obviously the building is not there anymore, but yeah, it is the sticks. So there's nothing really out there, and obviously now they're in downtown. So.
All right, well, let's get back to your topic. I was taking you down a merry path here, but Shedeur Sanders, and of course, going into camp, and they had Flacco and Pickett and Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur was fifth string, then fourth string, and then lo and behold, after some attrition, here he is as the starter. They got a very soft landing playing my Raiders, who are a joke, and ever since then, maybe it's not gone as well. So, what just as someone who watches him every day, much unlike the rest of us, are your thoughts?
So, in my opinion, watching every single game, this has been the most hopeful for a quarterback that I've been since Baker Mayfield. You know, there's a stat since 1999 we've had pushing 50 starting quarterbacks. And I think the problem with the Browns organization, obviously the quarterback being the main thing, but if you look at the season right now, we have no offensive line, we have no weapons. We have arguably one of the best defenses that they've started to check out, rightfully so. And we haven't been able to put a quarterback into a good situation. I think with Shea having to sit him for the first half of the season, throwing him into the middle of the Baltimore Ravens game where I don't expect anybody to remember this, but in the last preseason game that he played, it was atrocious. He was taking 25, 30-yard sacks, going backwards. It was really bad. Now getting in the middle of the season, having to start the second half against the Ravens, I think that was an eye-opener for him. Now he's obviously had the time as a starter to make connections with guys like Jerry Jeudy, Harold Fannin, David Njoku. I'm starting to see the light. And unlike Dylan Gabriel in his first 6 games, Dylan Gabriel regressed and went backwards every single game. He couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards. He started his first game in London, which was hard enough, and that sadly was his best game, and he started to go backwards. With Shea, obviously the record has not been there, but every week he improves. Whatever he did wrong in this past game against the Bears, which was just an absolute beatdown, I fully expect him this next week against Buffalo Bills to clean that up.
Well, now, let me throw this at you. Sorry to interrupt, but Deshaun is back in the building, and they owe him a lot of money. If he's healthy, is he going to play?
I don't think Watson is going to play. People here are very torn, obviously, on Watson being around the team. My opinion is I think we're set up perfectly for next year. I would not like to draft a quarterback. I do not like any of these quarterbacks coming out. I would name Shea the starter, give him a full offseason. I would have Watson be the backup. He does have a winning record with the Browns. People don't remember that. It hasn't been pretty, but he does have a winning record, and you have to have a veteran in the building. And we're paying him, so you might as well keep him around. I'd have Gabriel be the third, and then maybe in the 5th round, our GM, Andrew Berry, likes to accumulate 5th-round picks for whatever reason. I would take another quarterback then, let them battle it out for the 3rd spot. But maybe next year you'll see Watson if Shea gets hurt. Obviously, nobody wants that to happen, but we're not going to see Watson the rest of the year.
Right, not this year. Well, you do have the best defensive player, Myles Garrett, homing in on 30 sacks, and kind of surprised that he did stick around when it looked like he was publicly saying his goodbyes. Now, with Raider fans, they're talking about should they cash in on Max Crosby since there's so many holes to fill. I think you keep guys like that and build around them, but are there people in Cleveland saying, look, why don't we trade Myles Garrett?
So, yes, obviously, when he went on Radio Row during the Super Bowl last year and was blasting us, that did not go over well with the fans, but once that check came across his face, everything turned. I was on the side at the trade deadline that we should have followed suit with what the New York Jets did. We should have packaged Myles Garrett, where arguably his value will never be higher in his career, and we should have taken another solid veteran in Denzel Ward and moved both of them just to accumulate picks, younger talent for the future. We have a new stadium that's going up in, supposed to be 2029. Now they're saying 2030. I don't expect Denzel Ward for sure will not be there. He gets hurt if the wind blows too hard, but I don't think Myles Garrett will be there either. And so I think we need to look more towards that timeline, and it would have been the perfect opportunity to unload both of those guys, especially Myles Garrett. And looking back at the Micah Parsons trade, I believe the Browns could have gotten a lot more than that. I believe Parsons, or Dallas got 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick and a player, I believe. And I think we could have gotten at least 3 first-round picks. So I would have done it, but now we're stuck. So not a bad problem to have, but I believe we should have done it.
Interesting. And before I go to the break here, I just wanted to bring up, because I was thinking about Akron. About 10 years ago, when I was doing the Oakland A's pre and post, there was a young guy who was a zip, and he went there to play hoop, and he was a very good guy, and I watched him in the playoffs this year, and I rooted for him because, as I said, he was a very nice guy, and that is Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett, you know, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, yes, he is a Akron native. Yes, that is true. I honestly don't know much about him. I know his name.
Well, you think about the Akron Zips, because I remember when I was in college, Jerry Faust got fired from Notre Dame. He's going to be an Akron Zip, and the only other guy I can think of off the top of my head would be, I think, Charlie Fry and maybe Jason Taylor. Is that where he went?
Jason Taylor did go to Akron. Yes, he did.
In the MAC. What is the? Let me just ask you this. I got a minute. What's the MAC like?
Action, baby, Tuesday nights. They own Tuesdays. The greatest football ever. The MAC is in a weird spot. I think half of those teams could probably move to another conference and be on the low end, and then I think the other half of those schools, I don't even know D1, to be honest. It's a very weird conference in my opinion, and I mean, they'll never run into a situation like JMU or Tulane where they'll get an at-large bid for the college football playoff. The MAC is a weird conference, rightfully so that they play on Tuesday night.
Well, Ohio today fired their head coach for being a drunk, allegedly. So
I did. That ends up the MAC right there.
All right, Avery from Akron. Appreciate the call. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Rich.
All right, call me Rich if you'd like. Rich Paul. We can also, I want to talk a little bit about that. I mean, I laugh. That's not funny for somebody losing his job. But as you can see, call me up. Let's have a sports discussion at 1-800-878-PLAY.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5 grand. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROYAL25. An extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROYAL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROYAL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase. And your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879, 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
You think this is a humorous occasion? You are mistaken.
It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. It's slide, slippity slide. Just forget about your troubles and your 9 to 5 and just sail on. That's what you do, just sail on. The dude so hey, what do you think? What is it called? It's called a lakeside stank.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
All right, thanks for that. Welcome back to the show. And lines are available at 1-800-878-PLAY. No alibis, just ugliness. I mentioned briefly at the end of the call there from Avery in Akron, Ohio, that Ohio University fired their head coach. Ohio U, I remember meeting some girls that went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, speaking of the MAC. That was back when they were the Redskins. Now I think they're the Red Hawks. But their star player at that time was a guy named Ron Harper, who went on to play with Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls. But these girls from Miami, this was mid-'80s, very, very, very pretty. And when my buddy mentioned how good-looking they were, they said, well, if you're good-looking, you go to Miami, and if you're ugly, you go to Ohio U. That story has that's a totally conceited thing to say, but ever since then, even when the Raiders drafted a guy, a safety, who was in none of the Street and Smith, Herb Arkish books out of Ohio U, who the Steelers turned into a linebacker, that all I could think of was, oh, that's where you go if you're ugly. Anyway, Ohio University this morning fired head football coach Brian Smith for cause. Smith was fired after, quote, serious professional misconduct and participating in activities that reflect unfavorably at the university. Now, in that part of the world, we just had the Sharon Moore situation. So, this guy, Brian Smith, is 45. He was just about to complete his first full season. Last year, he took over as interim from Tim Albin, and he led the Bobcats to a win in the Cure Bowl. Show me how you do that trick, the one that makes me scream, she said. So Smith's lawyer put out a statement. We vigorously dispute Ohio University's ground termination for cause of Coach Smith. He is shocked and dismayed by this turn of events, and we plan to fight this wrongful termination to protect his good name. Coach Smith is an ethical man who has done exemplary work for the university. He wants nothing but the best for the players, coaches, and the entire Bobcat community. So, Ohio played pretty well this year in his first full season. They went 8-4, and they're going to be playing UNLV in a bowl game on December 23rd. But Smith will not coach in that contest. He is on indefinite leave. He was on indefinite leave, and now he is fired. The DC John Hauser is taking over. So the AD there, these ADs always have funny names. You'll never see an AD named Bob Jones. The AD is Slade Larshide. That sounds like a demonic, evil, but like handsome soap opera guy. Oh, my boyfriend is Stone Mountain, but the guy I have a crush on, he's in jail. His name is Slade Larshide. Anyway, this all started around Thanksgiving. There was an allegation that Smith had done something untoward, so Slade Larshide met with Brian Smith. And apparently he violated a university and contractual policy related to alcohol and other drugs. And Smith reportedly acknowledged storing alcohol in his office desk drawer, and that when he would hit the bottle, it would be after 5 p.m., so he was on his time. And he also said on occasion, a few assistant coaches would have a drink, some of the players would have the drink, all over the age of 21, and they would just have a little pop of bourbon. Now, unless you go to some super religious, crazy college, and I'm not going to disparage any of them, but like if you go to some like ultra white ring Christian college where drinking is the tool of the devil, you'll be immediately fired, right? Then I guess I could see it, but you know, it's not great that your coach keeps liquor in the drawer, but that's not fireable unless he was like Sarkeesian and standing on tables at USC and humiliating everyone in front of Pat Hayden and Mike Garrett, right? I mean, so on paper, to me, that sounds like something that you'd probably rather him not have, but he's a grown man. He can have a pop of bourbon if he feels like it. And you'd say, well, not on work property. Well, that was never in the contract. Or was it? Because Smith got a letter of a reprimand right after Thanksgiving. And Yahoo Sports got a copy of it. It says, quote, "You further acknowledge that you were initially unfamiliar with the policy, but now you understand its requirements. You affirmed your commitment to comply with university policy moving forward and recognize that consuming or storing alcohol on university property is strictly prohibited. Further violations of University Policy 41.133 or any university policies may result in further disciplinary action up to and including termination of your employment. You are expected to fully comply with all university policies and maintain professional conduct at all times." So we can only assume that he got this warning and he did it again anyway. Ohio University says they will begin their search for a new head coach immediately. So before he got the job, he had stints at Hawaii as offensive coordinator, and but his first head coaching position was with the University of Ohio and the Maction that goes there. And I'm sorry to see that, you know, especially if you're an alcoholic. I do, and I'm not going to get into it now, but I do think, because I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but the whole thing about it being a disease, you know, Norm Macdonald, it's the only disease where you're always happy and you might hook up. All right, interesting. 1-800-878-PLAY. I'm seeing some free agent rumors that are pretty hysterical. You know, I saw Ken Rosenthal yesterday say that he thought it was bizarre the Giants aren't trying to get pitching, but then he said that the infielders are locked into these huge deals. There's now discussion that they might try to trade for Nico Horner, who is an Oakland native. He'd come back to the Bay. He's a very good player. I don't know if the Cubs would want to give up on Nico Horner. don't know if they have somebody at second base ready to go. But interesting thing I've seen from Alex Bregman and Cody Bellinger is they both want, this is according to ESPN now, 6 to 8 year deals. Bregman is 32, Bellinger's 30. Well, 30 next summer. Do you want to give Alex Bregman a deal until he's 40 years old? Look, Bregman can hit. We know that. And coming out of LSU and after Brady Aiken didn't sign the contract with the Astros, their pick went down a slot and they took Bregman. And he had a 3-year deal with Boston, but he had a good deal and he opted out. And after Kyle Tucker, he's probably the second best bat available. Now, Bellinger went from the young superstar MVP with the Dodgers to kind of a reclamation project with the Cubs, and then with the Yankees, he had 29 home runs and 98 RBI last year, throwing 13 steals and 89 runs. And he's been pretty good the last couple of years since that dip after winning the MVP 6 years ago. Do you want to give Cody Bellinger an 8-year contract? But here's the thing is that, what is it, Rick? What's the thing? The agents will say, if you want Bregman, who will give you what? 3 more good years? I'll give him until he's 35. I think Bregman could hit 3 more years. You're going to have to pay him for those other 5 years after you cut him. And that's basically what, it's like the Pujols deal. Oh, he's not going to play that long. Of course he won't. You want 3 good years out of him, hopefully more. Bellinger, give him an 8-year deal. An 8-year deal to play till he's 38. Well, that's the thing. You'll get me for a couple of good years, and then we'll see how much I suck after that. So the interesting thing is that the Diamondbacks are the ones that are rumored to be most interested in signing Alex Bregman. And so if they sign Alex Bregman, then the Athletic says they'll trade Ketel Marte for pitching. Well, if you sign Bregman, aren't you robbing Peter to pay Paul, that type of thing? Wouldn't you want to put Bregman and Marte in the same infield? That was what you should do. Remember, the Diamondbacks won the National League just a couple of years ago. And you think about the Corbin Burns edition and then, bringing him in. That was kind of surprising. Look, a lot of players off-season, they live in the Valley of the Sun. So that's why, you go back there and a lot of guys think, oh, you mean I could just sleep in my own bed every night if I play for the Diamondbacks? And, and I'm sure the wife is like, why don't you just come home and play for the team 20 minutes away? Yeah, well, he had John June first. And, look, they have some good young players, Corbin Burns and others, but it'd be interesting. If I got Bregman, I would keep Marte as well. So this pitching market, and when the Blue Jays signed Dylan Cease, that was weeks ago. That was not a domino. Did nothing. And that's because none of these guys, Framber Valdez, okay, Ronher Suarez, okay, Michael King, the Tatsuki Imai, who said, I want to beat the Dodgers. What's up, Giants? They heard crickets from the Giants. But I want to help beat the Dodgers. Well, not with us. Mr. Janssen says you cost too much. I'm very sorry. So there are pitchers being shopped. New York has made Kodai Senga and David Peterson available. And for the Mets, San Diego said that they'll move Nick Pivetta. But I want to see what happens with this Murakami, and his signing deadline is in 4 days. It's next Monday. And a couple of years ago, he broke Sadaharu's single-season MPB record. Japanese-born player. He has elite strength. He has a high strikeout rate, no doubt. But everybody says he's basically a Eugenio Suarez. But not a lot of action. Not yet. Even coming out of the winter meetings. All right, let's go to a break and we will come back on Sports.
never gonna get my love. Now because you wear all the fancy clothes. Oh, yeah. And have a big car. Oh, yes, you do now.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch